Hey, seventh graders, today is Wednesday, February 10th. It is our last day of full distance learning. I'm super excited to see many of you next week on Tuesday. For those of you that are continuing to be distance learning, I likely will have talked to you by today, but also just keep checking this page that will have information on what you're supposed to be doing every day. So I'm going to start out with the bell ringer, which is this discussion post. You can click on either of those links. Excuse me. Says imagine this scenario. There are two islands, Island A and Island B, each with similar populations in terms of size and demographics. No one has ever been infected with COVID-19 on either island because the islands closed their borders at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, months later, a vaccine has been developed for COVID-19. A team of workers first visits Island A to vaccinate all of their residents with the vaccine, and then visits Island B 2 weeks later to vaccinate all of their residents with the same vaccine. After the workers leave, residents on both islands agreed to continue to keep their borders closed until the vaccine has been administered worldwide. Several months later, more than half of the residents on Island A have contracted COVID 19, but no one on Island B has contracted it. What might be a scientific explanation for this phenomenon? So, what do you think is going on? Just write up a discussion post on here and we will discuss this later on in class. So as you may have noticed, today we're going to take what we learned yesterday about vaccines and we're going to look at how the COVID-19 vaccine was developed, because the COVID-19 vaccine is a different type of vaccine. It's a type of vaccine called an mRNA vaccine, which is different from the ones that we talked about yesterday. So we're going to look at this COVID-19 vaccine development. So what you're going to do today is make a copy of this KWL chart. And before watching the first video, we're going to write what we already know about the COVID-19 vaccine, okay, or what we think we know in the K column. Then you're going to write what you wonder or questions you have in the W column. Those of you that are in class will have a little discussion about some of that prior to watching the first video, okay? Then what we're going to do is we are going to watch Inside the Lab that created the COVID vaccine, and this is 12 minutes long. And as you're writing, you're going to write some different notes in the L column, okay, some things that you learned. Once we're finished with that, we'll be watching it as a class. We'll have a discussion. And then on your own, you're going to be watching, you have a choice between two different resources. You have an article from the CDC, how does COVID-19 vaccine work? Or there's an article, this one's a video, how do mRNA vaccines work? So that's the type of vaccine that the COVID-19 vaccine is currently, and it works a little bit differently in producing an immune response than the weakened virus vaccines. So you will watch that and you will fill in some more notes. If you have more questions, you can definitely put those in, and then you'll put in some facts that you learned. For that second resource, you don't need to write what you already know because we did that at the top. Then, once you're finished, you'll process and you'll answer the last two questions on the page, and then you will submit this when you are finished. So let me know if you have any questions, and if I don't talk to you, have a wonderful long weekend. Enjoy the break, and I will see you on Tuesday.